Here a competency map that I've made up for myself with my picture squarely in the middle, and I'm currently inside the Tufts University VUE software environment. VUE stands for Visual Understanding Environment. It's a very powerful tool that allows you to link things together and relate them to one another, and to connect those nodes, each of these little things being a node representing a different concept or idea that are clustered with respect to relationships. You can define what those relationships are, and you can statistically analyze clusters of relationships. You can also attach media to it. As you can see, I've attached a couple of visuals down here that are difficult to see. But let's zoom in and we'll take a look. I'll just switch to the zoom in feature, and now we can zoom in. And you can see that dead center, I've used a dual-toned headshot of myself. Now, in a previous video, I'd come to the conclusion by looking at the Herman brain dominance instrument that I was a blue thinker, that I was more analytical and detail-oriented than perhaps might be true. Having done my left brain, right brain test, it clearly was showing me that there was a different sort of trend there. And the more I reflected on it and the more testing I did, I finally realized I'm not a blue thinker at all. Although sometimes I do work in that domain, I'm primarily and dominantly a more holistic, intuitive, integrative, or synthesizing type of thinker. And my thoughts are dominated typically by images. I'm driven by chaos and creativity, fantasy. I often work on intuition, and I'm definitely a very curious person. So, having decided that yellow was actually my color, I created a yellow duotoned image of myself, which I was able to drag in here. And you'll notice that I've put some of the text in there. And if you click on any of these media elements, it will launch the actual media that's connected to it. You can see this one here, just a tiny little thumbnail. And if I were to click on that, it would launch that image there. So it connects your visual assets to your flowchart in very interesting ways. So this is my finished chart. I've broken it down according to the center reflecting my thinking styles, also indicating the fact that I'm right brain dominant, and all of this information, choosing my color preference for thinking, was all predicated on doing the assessments that were provided in the learning materials. Having said that, I then branched out into creating a competency or SCA map. SCA, not the musical variety, but it stands for skills, knowledge, and attitudes. And we're trying to get to the root of what are our dominant skill sets, the things that we can bring to the table. Oh, there's a very large vehicle passing outside my house right now. We've got skills, what sort of things we bring to the table, knowledge, that's content knowledge, and what sort of attitudes do we have with respect to how we approach work, how we approach other people. So again, we're doing an inventory of skills, knowledge, and attitudes. But not just those skills, knowledge, and attitudes that we already possess. We also reflect on those things that we feel we would like to work on and acquire more of. So you'll notice that I've chosen blue, and you'll use the same color scheme. You'll use blue for skills, and the lighter blue represents those skills that I'm in need of acquiring. And you'll notice with attitudes, we've got dark green and the light green representing those attitudes that I need to develop in myself. And then finally down at the bottom in red, we have knowledge. And so these are the things that we know as opposed to the things that we can do, which fall into the skills category. The lighter one, of course, is knowledge that I'm interested in acquiring. So once we have those maps, we can then share them. I would save this first of all. I choose to save it. Now there are a number of formats, you'll notice, in which you want to you may want to save it. Initially, you want to save it as a native Vue format. That way you can go in, if you need to add things to it, you can go in and make edits, provided you have the original Vue format. So I'm going to call this last name, all lowercase, underscore, first name, underscore, Vue map. And there I have it. And I'll just save that out on my desktop for now. But later on, I'm going to want to share this in the open network, which is our social platform that we use for communicating and collaborating. So what we're going to do here is File, save another version of it, only this time we're going to save it as a JPEG. And of course you could also save as PDF, but our open network only supports JPEG image file format. So we choose JPEG. I'm just going to keep the same naming convention, and I'll save that. And so I now have the original file, and I have, you can see them out here on the desktop. There's the JPEG that I generated. So I can open that up, other people can look at it, and that can be shared in a number of different platforms. So that's what we do with our map.